it also started to file a lot of patents in the areas that is relevant to Facebook. And the key patents are actually in the digital data processing, data transmission, and also data processing system. Yeah, so these are some of the numbers that you can see. You know, Facebook started to file a lot of patents on how you can process the data, you can transmit the data, you can communicate within the network, and the numbers run into thousands. You know, thousands of patents are filed in those areas. So here I'm going to share with you. Some of the patent that actually make Facebook one of the most successful social media company. So the first patent that I would share to you is they have come up with a system to analyze. You have billions of users. It's virtually impossible for you to, analyze the personality of the user. And it employs AI, artificial intelligence, big data, to analyze the posts and the messages of the user of Facebook. And from these messages, you can do a categorization of the user's personality, based on the degree of openness, about your degree of extroversion and also emotional stability. You can profile your user and you can choose what kind of ads or what kind of story to display to the user. So this is one of the innovations started by Facebook, and this feature was actually patented in this particular patent, right? It is a patent that allows the system to determine the personality characteristic and to decide what kind of content to be posted to the user. So this is the claim of that patent number 9740752. It is a system that do characterization and personality profiling and determine what kind of posts or ads to be fed to that user. So as you can see, the claim one in a patent, when you file a patent, what you want to claim is a combination of elements, right, that constitute your invention, that forms your invention. And this particular system, the invention comprises of a number of steps which can be implemented by a software, right? So what this system does is you collect the linguistic data of the user, you analyze the characteristic of the user, and you determine from the characteristic what is the personality profile of the user using statistical model, and you store that statistical personality characteristic in the user profile, and based on that profile, you present the right content from the advertiser to the user. So when you open up your Facebook, every user with different profile would have different content fed to their, to the screen, right? Because of this particular software that is used in the system and which is already patented by Facebook. So this is one of the patent that I think has differentiate what Facebook can do compared to the other social media players. And also Facebook would also use the AI engine that it has to analyze, a user's his life history, and you use the system to predict the major life event of the user. Like for example, your birth, your death, your graduation, and all that is likely to happen, and use that kind of prediction, to select what kind of story or ads to display to the user. Okay, so by using the life chronology of the user, do some prediction of the next major life event, and use that information to feed the ads, the right ads. And this software, this AI software, is also patented in a patent, was filed in 2010. Using this software, Facebook can effectively predict the life change event of a user based on the communication data of the user, based on the profile of the user, and you can try to predict what's coming up next for the user, and feed the right content to the user. So this is the second way, right? You can gain traction, right? Because for the user, you know that, okay, when I was about to get graduation, then I would have certain information, news about graduation, and probably some advertisement related to the graduation ceremony, and I feel that, this is very useful. And for Facebook, this type of information you can also feed it to the advertiser. So by filing a patent on this software flow, Facebook control this business model to actually feed the right ads or news to the user. I would like to also share with you another feature that Facebook has used to grow their community, to grow the number of users, to gain traction. You'll be wondering why Facebook can have billions of active users. So in order to achieve that, Facebook must have a system that actively introduce people to you, right? And the people that you introduce by Facebook must be someone you already have some link in the past. Okay, so this is one of the system that Facebook use to identify the link and also to suggest new user to use. So what Facebook does is Facebook analyze the pictures, right? Pictures of when you take your camera and capture a photo, your picture will be analyzed by Facebook, and the Facebook will assign a camera signature to the photo you take, because the camera that you use may have some 40 lens scratches or some 40 pixel in your photo that you take. So this 40 pixel or lens scratches will be your signature, and this signature will be attached to you. So whenever you send a photo across to another person and that person tag your photo, then Facebook knows that the person that you send the photo to is related to you, because he tags the photo that you send, right? And this photo that you send has a camera signature which can be linked back to you. So by doing that, Facebook knows that there's some relationship between you, and they will suggest the two person to be linked, right? This is how Facebook identify a lot of new user to be suggested to the existing user. So if you look at the technology behind this system, again, it is a software flow that talks about, if one takes a photo, you assign a signature to the photo that you take based on the pixel fault or the camera scratches that you have. And then the user that received a photo, you link them and you suggest an association to them, ask them to add you as friend. So this flow was patented also by Facebook, right? This is one of the way where technology is employed to introduce more users. The next patent that I would like to share with you is you can use the photo to predict the household member related to you, and by doing that, you can actually deliver content not only to you but also to your family members, right? Because they are all associated. So this is using, again, AI photo analysis of the photo that you post, predict relationship between you and your household members, and use this information to deliver content to you and to your household member. So this patent again is patented using a software. Is implemented using a software. So the system, whenever you post a photo with a group, so this system behind will do a texture, not only the photo, but the texture information that you key into the social media. Then they will use the trained text analysis model and the trained image analysis model, the AI, analyze and predict the relationship between you and people in the same photo. And whenever you receive something, your members related might receive the same information. So this is another way, right? The community was grown. And let me just move forward. Because of the billions of users and there's a lot of objectionable content on the internet now, it's impossible to manually flag and remove the content. So what Facebook has done is using AI to automatically flag and remove objectionable content. And this again is protected by a patent, right? This is protected by a patent. And just excuse me, I would like to hide this. Okay, never mind, because this is blocking some of the view. I move it to the bottom. Okay, sorry. Yep. So this, if you look at the flow again of this pattern, it is about using AI and using big data to select. You can identify certain word as objectionable and using AI, to look at the content, compare to see whether it hits the threshold value of objectionable matter and automatically remove it, right? This is another way where you can clean up the social media of objectionable material. And the next one is Facebook is also moving into mobile commerce, and using mobile commerce, they are using bot, they are using AI to do e-commerce. So in this particular pattern, it describes a way when you're using Messenger and there's a merchant using a messaging bot trying to talk to you about what you want to buy. And if there is a demand made by the customer that they want to buy something, then the AI can connect, can identify that using the natural language processing, and they will initiate a payment transaction and using that to complete the e-commerce using the messenger system that they have. So again, this particular flow of using a bot, using a payment gateway, using AI is protected by Facebook. So if any other competitor wanting to use payment gateway with bot with AI in the chat, they will be infringing the pattern of Facebook. So you can see that a lot of core flow in the social media world, which we take for granted, right? That someone just introduced me, some new user, I can easily use the bot to make payment, that my profile is being analyzed and use it to introduce to my next live event. These are all features that has been innovated by Facebook. It has been innovated using technologies like AI, like big data, and these solutions are all patented. Yeah, and this is the way that Facebook ensure that if any competitor were to come in, I have an IP mode to keep you out from my territory using the patent's exclusionary monopolistic power.